All right, ladies. So before I will start my presentation, I want to tell you that we were born in the bodies of a woman, right? No matter what is your energy, before I even start, right, I want you to know that you're here to develop yourself as a woman, regardless of what's your dominant energy, regardless of what you want and what you're looking for. Now, let's talk about the types of energy, right? So there is masculine and feminine energy. The majority of us were brought up in a masculine energy. I will explain you why. When we were born, right, we went to school. This is a masculine energy. So basically you have to study to prove yourself. So it's not like you living just, feminine energy would be, okay, you're just pretty girl, you just sit and enjoy yourself. That would be. So if you went to school, you were brought up in masculine energy. Now if you were working, you're in masculine energy all the time. So our society is programmed to be in a masculine energy, which is bad. Now the difference of feminine energy is about pleasure, right? It's about enjoying yourself. So masculine energy is, feminine energy is horizontal, right? So we spread ourselves, we make connections, we go, we see something new, we enjoy things, you know, it's about that. Masculine energy is linear, it goes up, so it basically achieves, it feels pleasure in achieving, right? Now masculine energy would never be able to exist without feminine. I want to say that we're very codependent, so to say, right? Because masculine energy needs to know where to move. If you know men, you know that they're very low maintenance, right? So most of the men can just stay at home and just live basically in a shack. They don't need like nice furniture. They don't really need even to travel, nothing like that. So they need a woman who is going to tell them what to do, right? How she does it, she gives them desires, right? So she, for example, tells them, I would love to go to Italy, right? He never would probably think about Italy, and now he's like, oh, okay, you know, I guess we can go. Because for a man, there is no really pleasure in doing something outside from achieving, right? When he is achieving something, that's when he gets pleasure. Why he's doing this for a woman? Because he wants to win her over. So let me explain something. This is from actually my masterclass, but I will say. So for a woman, it is important to be the only one, right? Because from the old days, a woman, to survive, she needs a provider. She needs somebody who is going to bring her meat, right, to live. A man needs to be the best. So he doesn't need to be the only one, he needs to be the best. So what we're doing, we're basically telling men, right? Well, we say, oh, you are my only one, so we date him and we stop dating everybody else because we want to give him what we need ourselves, right? But this is wrong, because when we tell a man, oh, you're my only one, you know, you're like, I don't date nobody, I'm so faithful to you. Basically you tell him, that's it, you know, you already caught me, there is nothing to do here, you can go conquer other grounds, unless you can motivate him differently. Now, so what a man wants, he wants to know that you have a lot of options, but you choose to be with him because he's the best. Then he will feel himself good, you know. If you are just like sitting there, oh, you know, I'm only all yours and that's it, it's really bad. So, but when you are with a man, let's say, not only men, so man, money and success is all masculine energy. The same with money, right? You need, money comes to your desires. If you don't have no desires, they won't come to you because you don't have desires. If you have stupid desire of helping somebody, it's bad. That means that you don't deserve yourself, you think you don't deserve yourself, you want it to give somebody, so money will come to the person, you know, through somebody else. I mean, they never will come to you. So this is where feminine energy is selfish. It has to want, because if feminine energy doesn't want, it either becomes dirty or it becomes masculine, or it becomes just not needed to nobody. So, but this is too deep already, right? Let's now focus. No matter what kind of body you were born, right? You could be born a woman, but you can have masculine energy, right? And you need to embrace. You will never know, really. Most of the women that are super aggressive, they have in feminine energy. They were just, they were born in feminine energy, and then they were beaten up so much in life that they couldn't trust. women that are calm are usually women in masculine energy. Like Helena, for example. I don't know you all too good, but I know her. She's energy of air. You know, she's so relaxed because she's a masculine energy. Masculine energy has no emotions, no feelings much. They just know what they want and they go towards it. Now, a feminine energy is always crying something, always some kind of problems because they don't get what they want. Yes, and they suffer. You know. So now there is also men. You know, if you see men in the gyms, those are men in feminine energy. Because most of men that have extra weight, or they tend to get extra weight, they're in feminine energy. And what they try to do, they try to be somehow masculine. So they go to gym, you know, they try to get themselves in a body. Also men that has a lot of women around them, they're in feminine energy also. Because then they become like feminine, they like attention, and then just, I'm choosing the best from the most. Those men usually attract women in masculine energy. So it has opposites attract, you know. So also masculine men, you wouldn't see them on dating sites. Like, they know what they want, they go, they take it. They mostly focus about business, money, like this, you know. And that's why they need feminine energy, because they need something to motivate them, to make them. Mostly what they do it for their moms or for their exes or something like that. So they have women around them. They just don't take a trouble to find somebody else, right? Because they don't have time. That's why if that happens, right, it's good to kind of guide the man, right? To maybe to kind of show him your interest, right? Just show the interest, and then he will do the next steps. Now, if a man is like this, he doesn't know, he's like a little girl, you know, he's in feminine energy. So a man with feminine energy, it's hard for them to become masculine. And we need to help them as much as we can, or at least not to bother them, right? So, for example, if he wants to make he makes some kind of plans, let him make the plans. Don't make it for him. Let him, if he wants to make a surprise, let him do it, you know. So let him make decisions, because it's already hard for him. And usually feminine men get masculine women, and it's hard. It's really a challenge for them, right? Now, there is 4 elements, right? So how to find out which energy you're basically in, right? You need to look at your natal card. There is 4 elements. There is air, earth, water, and fire. So fire and air is masculine energies. Earth and water are feminine. The ideal goal in life is to open all of them. Where's my microphone? There it is. Is to embrace and develop all of them. So let's take me, for example. I don't have air in me. I don't have one planet of air in me, right? So let me first explain the energies, right? So fire, these people, you know them. First of all, they're very loud. Second, they're very active. They're constantly doing something, you know. It's like these are people who start to drink alcohol or take substances because they don't know how to come down. These are people, they're usually slender. They don't get weight. They're very bright. You know, when they come in, you jump on them because they're very bright, they look very confident, you know, they're a little aggressive, passionate, you know, like this. These are fire. These are people who do, you know, they are always ahead of the crowd, they always do. They don't finish stuff, but it's okay, they just do, you know. Now, air sign is idealists, you know, these are people who have ideas and they're easygoing, you know. So they can talk to everybody, they can get them into something, but they don't do. And they don't ground themselves. This is hard for them. So they can be today, they're changing the world, tomorrow they're already, I don't know, growing marijuana or something like that. So like they could be all over the place, but they have ideas. You know, it's good to communicate with these people when you could not get yourself from the ground. Because there is no borders for them. You know, if you tell them, I want to be a stripper, they're like, sure, go for it. You know, like there is nothing, they never judge you. They're like, you know, do whatever makes you happy. Now, there is earth. It's feminine energy. Earth is very grounding. These are wife materials, you know. These are people who are okay, I need to buy a house. They have like a plan for the whole life. I need to buy a house. I need to make 5 kids. Let's start tomorrow at 2 o'clock. You know, they're like this. Like when you don't have enough ground in your life, right? It's better to communicate with people like this. Now water, but they are good wife materials because their families will always be good, and they also, if a husband, let's say, here and there, you know, they know how to save the money and how to invest the money. Usually these people have money. Now water is very feminine energy. It's an energy of pleasure, right? This is the energy that men look for, like really masculine man. But I will tell you what's wrong with water. Water is very emotional. So sometimes you get into the water, right? And you're like, so it's too much emotions, and then you're like, okay, can't stand it no more. It's bad for the people who are next to the water. And then, so it's, can you imagine if you will go in the ocean, right? It's not like you can just get a little bit of water. You get all soaked in the water, right? And when you, and when the person who is in energy of water doesn't watch themselves, right, doesn't push themselves to work on themselves, right, they become very needy, very crying all the time. You don't love me. You sure you love me? You know, like this, like very. And then they're upset with everybody. You know, like they couldn't get into committed relationship because they're afraid to be hurt and all this. So water is a very, very desired energy, but it's very hard to maintain. Every energy is hard to maintain. You know, when your energy of fire, it's hard to maintain too, because you're like a energizer bunny. You know, you always run, then at one top you just drop. You know, like, and you just drink alcohol and coffee to get yourself up going again. The same with air. Air is hardly can commit because air is like all over the place. You know, if somebody is like, let's live together, okay, I think I have to go. You know, so there is bad sides to everything. The same earth. Earth sometimes becoming so grounded that you just want to throw up next to them, you know, because you want to, like I had friends, the energy of earth. At that point I needed them, you know, but it's always the same. They discuss the same topics year after year, the same. They live in the same way. They go to the same restaurants. They do everything the same. It's, you know, you could not progress in it, you know, so they need to develop air in them. Now, we all of us will have to develop it. Like the hardest for us to develop is the opposite. So I'm dominant water. For me, fire is the hardest. Honestly, I had a friend, she was energy of fire. When my phone was ringing, I saw her name, I was like jumping like this because she was always doing something, and I'm not as easy like to pick up and go, you know. She was like all over the place all the time. Now, for if you are mostly air, you need to be around earth people, right? And like this. So the opposites attract, and they also help. Now also, people come to our life when we need them, right? So for example, when I was really low and I didn't even have energy to develop myself, all my friends were energy of water because we were alike, right? Then I developed myself. My energy level was higher. I was already bored with people, my own people, you know. They were like, so we were all emotional, just sitting here, and I was like, you know, I have to go. Like it's you feel it, you know. Then when I first moved to Miami, I said all my friends were energy of earth. It was good because I just moved. I need some kind of grounding, you know. I need to feel secure, kind of. With energy of earth, that's what you feel. You feel secure. You feel like you can do it, you know. But at one point, I feel like I'm not developing, you know. It's not like I'm not moving, you know. I'm on the same level as I was here a year ago. The same thing. We're living from weekend to weekend, basically. It's not moving nowhere, right? And right now, around me, mostly energy of air. Because I know that I'm ready for the next level, and energy of air, they don't care. You want to go to the moon? Sure. You know, should I book a ticket? Let's go together. So people come to you. So if you see around you particular people, they didn't come to you just because, you know, they came to you because you needed them. Now, my advice is for you to surround yourself with people that you need. I will explain now about me. So I was born with no energy of air. So for me, energy of air is like an elephant in the zoo, really. For me, it's something very, very strange. Now, let me tell you, both of my parents are energy of air, to the point, right? So and they don't know what is energy of water because my parents has not one drop of energy of water. So I'm emotional. When I was little, I needed somebody to hug me. You know, my parents, they have that. They don't have that in you. They loved me very much. I was their first child. They were already very, mature, but they don't have this. You know, so they born opposite to themselves. Now, when I grew up, I thought that nobody loves me. You know, I had to prove myself to be loved because I felt like I'm not loved. Now, what I want to tell you, when you don't give something to a child or you punish a child, right? A child will never stop to love himself or herself. The child will never stop love the parents. The child will stop to love himself or herself because for the child, parents are gods basically, and he thinks I'm not good enough for this godlike people, so I need to do something, you know. So that's when kids start to lie or start being so good, you know, like, oh, I'll do anything just for my parents to smile, kind of. It's a very bad thing. So the same was with me, you know. I was trying to hide my emotions because for my parents it was comical if I would start having a fit or crying or laughing or something. They have no emotions. They don't know what it is, you know. Even till now, my mom, sometimes when I don't cry now, but if I get very emotional, she's looking at me like, you know, but she already knows all this, right? But she still, for her, it's a very strange situation to be in, you know. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't just, I was born just because like that, right? My brother and my sister are different too. They have water and fire. My parents don't have fire either, you know. So they have 3 kids that are absolutely different from their own. But that's good because, on the other hand, my parents, whatever I wanted, they were like, yeah, sure, you know, you want to do this? Yeah. Like, I wanted to learn German, right? That's what I said. I said I studied German before English, right? My father found this online school that time in USSR that was sending me a homework in the mail, and I had to do it and send it back. But what I'm saying is, these are innovators, you know. When I told my mom I want to go to United States, she's like, okay, you know, like for example, parents that are energy of water, they would never let this happen. They're so like, no, stay next to me, you know, like with me, like they're very, very mommy kind of, like they will nourish you until you probably drop dead, you know. Yeah, yes, exactly. Energy of earth might let you breathe a little bit, but as far as it's within accepted norms, you know. So if you are in the box, you can do whatever you want. If you're outside the box, I don't know you. Energy of fire probably doesn't even have time to kids, you know. They're doing themselves. But what I'm saying is, it's good to be with people that are opposite to you. Really, really good. I encourage you to be with this. It's not comfortable most of the time because with our own people we feel like, oh, and you know, he understands me from half of the world. You know, we don't even need to speak. She or he, you know, they understand me so well. But this is where you don't develop. You know, you develop only in uncomfortable situations. Okay. I think that's it. Now, I wanted, any questions?
How you become with the idea, the reality, what kind of, if you are fire, earth, how you find out that?
That, okay. I was going to do it after questions. So,
can I just add,
yeah,
are you born with the dominant one? Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
yes.
And you can't change it.
You cannot.
have to develop.
Yeah, you have to develop. So, for example, I have
only one dominant, one out
2,
of 4.
always 2 dominants.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes
When you
3.
were explaining them, I was like, I feel like I'm all of them. Like, I don't know.
I
can mix. That's
Yeah,
what I thought myself.
yes.
I thought it's only one. But it's
No, it's usually 2, most of the time. I will tell. But you have to develop. Like, for example, if you don't have enough fire, you should do things. So if you are like sitting and planning and thinking, I should do, you should just get up and do. So a good challenge would be 30 days, go to some new place, right? If you need fire. Or 30 days you meeting with a new person, or something like that. So you challenge yourself, you know? Yeah. If you don't need air, you can jump from a parachute, you know, or do something light like this. So go ride bicycle. Like me, I never liked bicycle. I don't understand why people would like bicycle when I have 2 feet, you know, to walk. Like, I like swimming more than bicycles or something like that. If you need earth, then you should plan your day and stick to the plan, you know? Like, you need to make sure that everything you do in order. If you need water, oh, I will tell you also about Miami. when you need water, you need to associate yourself with water, and you need to really, really open your second chakra and really feel pleasure, you know. So eating something, you feel pleasure. This is all about pleasure, water. Now about Miami, right? You were telling that everybody loves Miami. Yes, everybody loves Miami. Miami is energy of water. But how long will you be in pleasure? Like truly, how long can a person be in pleasure, you know? So okay, maybe certain time, but then you will start get bored, especially if you're in masculine energy, because you want to achieve something you could not be. So this is the problem with energy of water. They want to be with somebody day and night, but you could not, you know, because a masculine energy could never be in this kind of energy all the time. They want to do something, they want to achieve something, you know, like this. So that's why many people who live here, they always travel. They either go to New York or to Europe or somewhere. They need to get out, you know, because it is normal. Also, a lot of people here working out or doing sports. That's how they're getting energy of fire, because otherwise you probably will go just crazy. Now, New York, on the other case, is very energy of fire. That's why everybody there is doing something, running, doing, you know. It's like everybody is just crazy. Even if you don't have to, you're still running for some reason, you know. Now, and over there in New York, people, what they do, they always try to get away from the city. They go to Hamptons or to the mountains or to the Caribbean, you know, because they need pleasure. That's what they don't have there. They don't have energy of water, so they get out to get it. Or energy of earth if they go upstate, you know. And this is just normal. So that's why Miami is a great place to be. But you won't be here, you won't be able to develop here and live constantly, you know. You still will need to challenge yourself all the time and do something like work out or, you know, or travel. Traveling is good, really. That's what I told Helena. I don't mind to live here, but I would also prefer to stay somewhere in Europe.
Another water. Another green tea, and you have the cucumber basil? No, a lot more. So one more green tea. What you need?
Yeah, no green tea, just more like bottled water. Yeah.
Bottled water, you want flat or do you want? Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
What? Just water.
Now, how do you find out? You need to look at your natal chart. Now, the main planets for women is your sun. That's basically, your sun is how you open. This is your outside shell. Your moon is your inside. It's your soul. Now, your Venus is your feminine part. Like for example, I am mostly water, but my Venus is in Sagittarius. I don't have much fire, but it is in fire, right? So I'm soft and feminine, but if the guy is too slow, I'm like, let's move it, you know. Like, I'm Venus in Sagittarius, so I need excitement. I need to be moved, you know. And man, they don't expect it. Like for example, I could be with the guy, and then I'm like, that one looks so much cuter, you know. Maybe I can just like, I know it's a shortcut, but that's what we, you know, we need to develop and learn how to live with it. Also, we need to look at our Mars. Mars is our activity, and also what kind of man we attract, right? And Jupiter. Jupiter is a big planet. It's a planet of big luck and big money. Oh, she got dessert. Now, so what you need to do, you need to look at your natal chart. And I thought that we will all look. If you want, I can check it for you. Or you can check it for yourself.
I would like to check that and see.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Because I can explain a little bit how you
yeah,
you know.
you can also look at your. Also important to look at your rising sun, because so rising sun is the time when you were born, right? This is kind of what people see in you. So your sun is your outside, your moon is your inside, your soul, and your rising sun is what you are truly. And then Venus is what your feminine part is, Mars is what your masculine side is. And when you know all this, you kind of can work with it. For example, I was very emotional all the time at my work. So instead of using my feminine energy, I was pushing it aside as much as I can. I was so embarrassed. God forbid I would become emotional. I was like, you know, I was so angry with myself instead of embracing it. Even my ex, he was energy of air. He liked me because of my emotions. I didn't know that. I actually thought that I have to hide. He was energy of air. He doesn't have emotions, so he would make me emotional. if I don't give emotions of pleasure, he would make me mad or upset or something just to get some kind of emotions, you know. So I guess I will add here that men, they get, so women, feminine energy gets energy from just being. Masculine energy gets energy from women, most of them, working out and achieving things. These are three things, you know. That's why when you see a man who is like mama's boy, always with mom, he's not a mama's boy. He gets feminine energy from her. He doesn't have another woman, you know. You will be with him, you will give him enough feminine energy, he will leave his mom, obviously, and or he will make enough to provide for all of you. And so how do the men get energy from women? They basically, so they can, if a woman is really in her energy, they don't need nothing. They can just sit next to her and they're getting filled with energy. When the woman is not very fulfilled, right, they have sex, because sex is very fast. You get energy very fast, you lose it very fast. When you couldn't even get that, then you start fighting, because through fights you also get energy. So look at what level you are, depending, you know, you can say how fulfilled you are, basically, on the feminine part, you know. But can you stop the video so we can look at the energies for everybody?